All right. Let's get cracking then. So, hi everyone. I'm Veli. I'm a QA engineer at Kopernio, and today I want to talk about how to manage test failures in Python. So, I've a bit of background. I've been a QA engineer for most of my career in software engineering. I mostly work within Python and Selenium. So some of the sort of approaches that I've come across have been all within this space, and sort of I'll be presenting those today. So let's start off with a quote from a guy who's probably cleverer than me, Benjamin Franklin. Yeah. Nothing in this world can be certain. But in this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes. Now, I suspect if Benjamin Franklin was around today, he might have a third item to add to that, and that's test failures. Kind of a fact of life. It's not really a matter of if they're going to fail, but when. And when you have a lot of these failures and they're coming in and out of play, it's important. It's useful for me to work out how to deal with these. So I'm going to be going through that, and with the help of a demo app and some test code that I've created, I'm going to be doing a live demo of these approaches, starting from an app with a bug or with several bugs, and then applying my approaches, applying different ways to deal with those bugs. And then seeing my approach to if and when those bugs change. So, more relevant context to where I am. So, Kopernio builds a web browser plugin, and this facilitates access to research articles. So it lives on your browser, and when you go to an article page, it tries to find that PDF for you. Now, what this means is that this is something this is required to work with hundreds of different publisher pages on multiple browsers and on various computers of loads of computers with varying hardware capabilities. And our tests need to catch bugs in this. So in reality, what happens is that there are quite a few bugs, and sometimes these bugs they're not even deterministic. You might get a test finds a bug, and it might only appear a third of the time. But sometimes the test fails because of a problem with our own with the tools that I'm using. So, for example, these are browser tests, so we're using Selenium to drive them. And Selenium's a really great tool. It's open source, but it has its own bugs, and we've experienced some of these ourselves. Where, and if you have a bug that it's no fault of our own, it means the test fails. So, all right. So now we've got test failures. So, if you're lucky, it's a bug, and it's not some sort of flaky issue with our tooling. So you file a bug report. So file a bug report, and then if it's serious enough, it gets fixed straight away. Or maybe it's not that. It's a customer-facing issue, but it's not you've got bigger fish to fry. Bigger bugs to zap. So it has to be. Your boss says, right, this is fine for now. We'll fix this later. So do something with the test. Skip them, bypass them, because otherwise your test part, you've still got a test run that's failing, which is probably blocking your continuous integration pipeline, and that's kind of annoying. You still want to be able to deliver code, and even if you did disable that quality gate, you still got these test failures, right? And test failures normally have something red and it's telling you something's wrong, and it's pretty distracting. But if you've already categorized the bug, the test failure, I don't really want to see red anymore. I just want to get on with fixing a bug or writing a new feature. So, the question is, how can we deal with that with code? So, So all the tests that I'm writing, will be written in Pytest automation framework, which is really cool. It's like you can get started with just a couple of lines of code writing a test. It's really easy to extend, and there are loads, like, it's got reasonably good documentation, and even where the documentation is a bit lacking, there are so many people writing blog posts about it, and people asking questions on Stack Overflow because it's being used, that often you'll find an answer to the question that you're asking about Pytest. So for those reasons, it's really, like, I quite like to use it. So, onto the demo. So the demo so the app I've created is a simple, say, Pokédex program. I play Pokemon Go at lunchtime, and I figured I'd like something on my computer that tells me, like, which species that I've caught, so I don't bother catching those. And unfortunately, the app doesn't give me, doesn't allow me to export that information freely. So here I am building my own app. And as any good developer, I've written some tests to help catch any regressions if I make any changes. So why don't we see that? So let's see how that works. All right, so let's take that out of play. So here we are. Here are the tests. Test and surprise conversation mode. Cool. So I've got 3 very simple tests. So if we look at the first one, it says, all right, so we've got a function add to Pokédex, it adds Bulbasaur, and then I've got another function here which verifies that the length of that Pokédex list that comes back is 1, which is what you'd expect, right? Because I've caught 1 Pokemon, 1 species. And then you've got a couple others which catch where you add Charmander, which is a fire type, and then a Bulbasaur. So you've got 2 distinct species, and I'm expecting the length of that list to be 2. Of course, this is a Pokédex, so it means that duplicates of the same species shouldn't count twice, right? So I've got a test for that. And let me just get rid of that text before it screws up my demo. So let's run these tests. Come back to presentation mode. Sorry, so can everybody see that if I zoom in a bit more? Cool. So I'm just gonna run all the tests within everything that's running. So as you can see, we've got a test report, we've got all the tests that run and failed. So I see the first test has passed, that's great, but the next 2 have failed. You know, as I said, this is to be expected, right? I've got bugs in my code. I'm disappointed, but not surprised. So it looks like here we've got some issue with this function here. It's returning 1 when it should be returning 2. Right. So what do I do? Right. Okay. So I'm going to go to my boss, say, right, this is a problem. This is a bug. We're going to report it, but also want to get on with delivering code. So time to